to make a brief statement on a matter, of course, of regional and international importance. And it relates to the tragedy and the difficulties that are now being experienced by the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Of course, it is well known that we are in the ripe season for the hurricanes, and their high point is somewhere around mid-September and would prolong until October. That time frame is the period in which hurricanes are most likely. Over the last couple of days, since last week, our television stations and our phones have been quite busy regarding the imminent arrival of Hurricane Dorian, which has struck Bahamas with some ferocious winds and indeed created a lot of damage. One media reported, and I quote, "Winds of more than 220 miles per hour have struck the northern Bahamas in the biggest storm to hit the Caribbean island chain in modern times. The catastrophic Category 5 hurricane forced the United States of Georgia and South Carolina to issue evacuation orders for their coastal communities on Sunday night, as the National Hurricane Center warned of storm surges of 18 to 23 feet above normal levels." Other news would have confirmed that to date we have had 5 deaths confirmed, 21 injured, and the Abaco Island, which is part of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and 13,000 homes have been determined to be severely damaged or destroyed. So we could well understand when the Prime Minister of Bahamas, the Honorable Hubert Minnis, indicated that this really was a historic tragedy. And even yesterday, we were concerned that Hurricane Dorian, not satisfied with the bashing and lashing it delivered, and 2 of the islands making up the Commonwealth of the Bahamas tarried long near the coast of Freeport, and significant damage is also expected there. I have had the opportunity to speak with Prime Minister Minnis to indicate our concern and that we stand ready as a government and people of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis to assist in whatever way we certainly can. I have likewise been in contact with the Secretariat of CARICOM through Ambassador LaRoque to ascertain how we could best coordinate a regional response. Equally, I've been in touch with Dr. Didicus Jules, who leads the OECS Secretariat. And indeed, he has followed through with several conversations with the chairman of the OECS at this time, Prime Minister Gaston Brown. And we have determined that we will pool the resources of the member states of the OECS, and we will in fact make a contribution to the government and people of the Bahamas as an OECS effort. When the quantum is appropriately determined and the nature and the mix of the support which we shall provide is well determined, I will update the country. But for now, I think it's important for us to be aware of the unprecedented tragedy that has befallen a member state of the community, and for us to know that we all are at one accord, and we all are vulnerable. Today it may be Bahamas, tomorrow it can be any other of us. And so we will do the very best that we can. We will respond with compassion. We will respond certainly to express clearly our solidarity at this particular moment in time. I have been sent a WhatsApp from the Secretary General of the CARICOM community in a few minutes preceding this, and he indicated a short list of some of the items which the government of the Bahamas had indicated they may have imminent need for. Of course, the estimates of damage should be considered to be very preliminary, in that the official parties who ought to make these informed assessments, they have not been able to visit the island in a manner that would facilitate more accurate description. So in some respect, these are some of the self-reporting that they have been able to give some reasonable sense of attestation. He said to me, "Hi, PM, the Bahamian authorities have still not been able to go to Abaco. PM Minis is planning to go this afternoon, weather permitting. Their immediate needs would be money, water pumps, drinking water, hygiene kits, and tarpaulins." So this is the preliminary list, not surprising. Usually after such a terrible storm, there's a collapse of water systems, and we gather in that particular island with the overflow of salt water. A lot of the traditional systems had become submerged and are no longer able to provide the kind of water quality that would be helpful for good living. And so the technical parties within the region are working with SIDEMA and with other groups to see how quickly we could respond. Our ability, of course, to respond would depend in large measure on the behavior of the weather that would allow in and out at this particular moment in time. So I just wanted to update the country that we shall stand in solidarity with a member of the community, and to ask that from these experiences we do all that we can in St. Kitts Nevis to build more resilient structures, and of course to minimize the probability of negative impacts to adverse weather by responsible behavior. Responsible behavior would, of course, means that the disposition that we have to build shacks, to set up a small unit and a plot of land, and we call that our little shanty, that those kind of behaviors are not to be encouraged at all. The attitude that we have that we shall build and we shall add without reference to the building board, which will certify the structural integrity of the building, those attitudes must change. Ultimately, the lives that we are protecting will be those of our families and neighbors and other persons. So we have to have a new view, a better view about more resilient accommodation, and of course, how we will engage the spatial settlements that are available to us. We are happy that so far we have been spared, but we are still in the hurricane season. We continue to pray that the God of mercy would indeed continue to watch over us. And while I'm on my feet, I want to commend the Christian community for last night putting on a National Day of Prayer. It was a very good activity. I left there feeling blessed, And I'm certain that the Minister of Ecclesiastical Affairs, he too must have been blessed. And his wife prayed for him as was directed by the pastor. So that must have been a double blessing. You pray for the one to the right of you. And the Deputy Prime Minister, he too received a blessing, as did the Attorney General and all who were there in the congregation. I just want to, and for the record, on behalf of the government, commend the religious community for undertaking this very important activity in the life of our nation. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.